Welcome once again, everybody, to another episode of B&B Hockey Talk. I'm Aaron Bloxwell with my co-host, Mr. Matthew Balzer. Super Bowl Sunday yesterday. I don't know if any of our listeners are football players or football fans, not players, but football fans. In the Super Bowl score, the Winnipeg Jets beat the Anaheim Ducks 9-3. Oh, wait, that was a hockey game. Almost the same score as the Super Bowl, but lots of scoring on the weekend. Some pretty high-scoring games, and scoring's been up, I think, since if I've seen the numbers, scoring's up. The highest it's been since 1998, which is absolutely fantastic for all the hockey fans that are out there. But let's start off today's show with the 3 stars of the week. I know we've got a Winnipeg Jet, a Philadelphia Flyer, and a New York Ranger.
Yeah, so the 3rd star of the week, Mika Zibanejad of the New York Rangers. 3 goals, 6 points in 3 games played, including a hat trick against the New Jersey Devils. Basically, all those goals in that game were actually all highlight reel. The 2nd star of the week, he was just named the Rookie of the Month and is now named the 2nd star of the week, Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers. 3 wins, .931 save percentage, and a 2.27 goals against average. As the Flyers have won 7 straight games tonight, and we'll be seeing them actually today as the Canucks play them. So get a good look at Hart tonight. And of course, the 1st star of the week from the Winnipeg Jets, Jack Roslovic. 4 games played, 5 goals, 6 points, including a hat trick against the Anaheim Ducks. As you mentioned earlier, where the Jets absolutely demolished Anaheim 9-3, and including 6 first-period goals.
Welcome back, Corey Perry, to the Anaheim Ducks. Can't imagine his return to the NHL was a pleasant one. But lots of trade rumors running around. What are some of the names that you've been hearing? I know, guys, there's lots out there, but why don't we start with some of the guys? Like, I know in Chicago, Brent Seabrook has been asked to waive his no-trade clause, and he said absolutely no way. I don't know if they've asked Duncan Keith yet, but those are a couple of guys I'm sure Chicago is looking at moving. But what else have you heard out there?
So those are the big 2. But of course, they have their no trade clauses, so they basically they determine where they end up if they do want to get traded. On the trade fronts, the Michael Furlan's stuff has quieted down. Pierre LeBrun put out a story today saying that with Matt Duchene, Mark Stone, and Artemi Panarin's names out there, those are the big names. So Furlan's, he might be closer to the trade deadline. And depending on how Carolina's doing right now, they're right in the thick of the playoff chase. They might end up holding on to him. But the thing is that Carolina doesn't want to lose him for nothing. If that does happen. Brian Boyle's name has been brought up with New Jersey. He has an 8-team limited no-trade clause. But I think he'd want to end up somewhere on the East Coast. Still, the New York Islanders would be an intriguing team I'd look for, though the Islanders have Andrew Ladd and Thomas Hickey coming back from injury soon as well. And a couple other names, Derek Brassard, who was just recently traded to the Florida Panthers. Right now, they're going to hold on to Brassard, but I'm guessing the way Florida's been going this year, it looks like they'll end up trading Brassard, maybe possibly to the Winnipeg Jets. I think that those 2 teams would probably come together because, as you saw, like the Jets got Stastny last year, and to bulk up their center ice, that would be somewhere. And Jimmy Howard, with the Detroit Red Wings, he's a pending UFA as well. Maybe an outside shot if the Blue Jackets do end up trading Bobrovsky. He could be an outside trade chance to quickly fill in for the rest of the season, just so they have a starter for the playoffs if the Blue Jackets do make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're hanging on by a thread right now. Of course, there's other names out there, and lots of rumors around Toronto and teams potentially approaching Marner with a contract offer in the offseason. Toronto's said absolutely no way, we're going to match everything that happens. What do you think of that? Do you think even with their tight cap space, you think Toronto's going to be able to hang on to that?
Yeah, so I think we brought this up earlier. Like if one team did an offer sheet for Matthews and then another team did an offer sheet for Marner, would the Leafs be able to match? And I don't think they would be able to, because if Matthews is going to get, well, if you look at Tavares making 11 million, well, Matthews is going to want around that, at least that amount of money, maybe closer to like $12 million. And then Marner, who's had an even better season this year, he'd want at least that this year. And I think Marner's been waiting for Matthews to get his contract extension before going for his, just so they set the bar there. But yeah, I don't think Toronto would be able to hold on to one of them, because once when you start throwing in the Nylander contract, and then you still have to re-sign Kasperi Kapanen and Andreas Janssen as well at the end of the season. It's going to be tough. And that Nikita Zaitsev contract, which is just awful. I think he still has about another 4 or 5 years left at around $4.5 million. That would be a contract that the Leafs would like to get rid of. But yeah, we'll be interested to see if we do finally get some offer sheets, because it's just it hasn't been since Dustin Penner that we've had one go through. We had the Ryan O'Reilly one by Calgary a couple of years ago with Colorado, but Colorado matched that year. But yeah, I'd like to see some offer sheets get thrown out there and teams take some chances.
Should be interesting for sure. Game the other night between Calgary and Carolina. 3 ex-Carolina Hurricanes score, and in the celebrations, Elias Lindholm does the Viking clap to mock the fans. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I found that pretty funny. Yeah, Lindholm, Derek Ryan, and Noah Hannafin, all 3 former Hurricanes scoring. And then Dougie Hamilton actually scored for Carolina against Calgary against his former team as well.
That's pretty crazy.
So, but yeah, I found that pretty funny. Especially, it's just the Carolina, they like to have fun, because I think the game before that they won, they did a duck goose celebration at center ice. But yeah, you're sticking it to your former team, where it's just things didn't go that well, and Lindholm's up to 60 points now this season, which is totally obliterates his career high from I think it was not even 50 points. But yeah, it's been a really good year for those 3 guys in Calgary this year.
Well, it's been quiet since our last episode, so let's wrap it up with a few injury updates and your final thoughts.
Yeah, so just for Canuck-wise, Sven Berchi woke up not feeling right, according to Travis Green, and it looks like he'll be out of the lineup possibly for the rest of the road trip. So that's something to keep an eye on. Not concussion related, though.
Is this Travis Green's way of benching him?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. The only thing I don't get is that Tim Schaller is taking his spot instead of Marcus Granlund. So you're taking a guy that still hasn't scored a goal yet this year, and of course they put him on the line with Bo Horvat. Go figure. Man, I feel sorry for Bo. But as we mentioned earlier, Corey Perry returned from an injury that he suffered in preseason for the first time this season, along with Patrick Eaves as well, returned from injury. Andre Sekera just got sent down to the American Hockey League for a conditioning stint. He's missed the entire first half of the season for the Oilers. So after a couple of games, he'll be back up, and that'll beef up the Oilers' back end.
That problem's not too far away either.
Yeah. And then with the New York Islanders, it looks like Andrew Ladd will be returning really soon. And then Marc-Edouard Vlasic for the San Jose Sharks will be returning, but Erik Karlsson remains out of the lineup, and Justin Schultz will be returning most likely for Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow night. And a couple of shutouts. Phoenix Copley got a new contract extension with the Washington Capitals, 3 years, $3.3 million. And Tuukka Rask became the all-time franchise leader for the Boston Bruins, passing Tiny Thompson with his 253rd career win.
Well, remember to like and comment on our Facebook page, and you can see all the highlights there that Matt diligently posts each and every night. And subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to just watch the shows that we post without the gifs. Matt, one more final thing.
Yeah. So there'll be no show on Wednesday. I got 3 hockey games in a row this week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Playoffs are around the corner.
Yeah. I got all my rescheduled games. They put them all on the last week, all back to back to back. So highlights may be a little bit limited, especially Tuesday and Thursday. Those are like the busy nights. I think there's over like 12 and 13 games that night. So I'll try to keep up with the highlights when I can. But yeah, just to let you guys know, no show on Wednesday. And highlights may be a little bit limited over the next 3 days.
So we'll be back on Friday with our Connects special episode. So thanks again for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the 4 hockey games on tap tonight. And the NHL is finally back. We'll finally have some more to talk about soon as more games get played out. And hope your team is in the playoff hunt. Have a great night, everyone.